Hello and welcome back. In this video we're going to take a look at creating the array of asteroids. So last video I gave you a challenge of using a for loop to create an array of asteroids, and then you'd have to initialize them and then draw them with a batch and see if you could get the asteroids to appear on the screen. That was quite a bit to tackle. I hope you had a lot of fun with that challenge and at least got you thinking about how you would accomplish that on your own. Now, I'm going to show you my thinking about the problem. Again, you might have approached it differently, and so long as it works and you're satisfied with it, who cares? That's great. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the way I would think about working through this. So going back to our image before, we had little lanes that each one of our asteroids are going through, and there are going to be 20 total lanes, one for each asteroid, and each lane was going to be 32 total wide, so 32 pixels wide. Now, if you remember, we defined the initial position of each asteroid based on the lower left-hand corner of its images box. So if I have an image box and it's 32, I think we made them 32 by 32. And we said, hey, we're going to set the lower left-hand corner because that's how the batch.draw works, is drawing the lower left-hand corner of the image. You'd say, okay, I want to draw the lower left-hand corner at the upper left-hand corner of the screen. So maybe we want to draw it right here to where it's just barely off the screen when the program starts, so you're not actually seeing it. So right here, if you remember, we got a screen that's 480 wide, 480. Then what we did is we set the initial position of this first asteroid at 0 and 480. So that would be the initial position of the first asteroid to be off the screen. What about the second one? The second one, you want its corner to be right here, which happens to be 32 over because the asteroid's 32 wide. So this one's going to be at 32, 480. And the next lane is going to be, or the next asteroid, little box, is going to be up here. And it's going to be at 64, 32 more wide, 480. And I think you're getting the picture of the pattern now. The next one's going to be 64 plus 32, which is 96, 480. And so on. So we're counting by measures of 32 to get each corner of the asteroid's hitbox where it's going to fall down, or rather the asteroid's image box, where it's going to fall down the screen. So that's going to be important when we create each one of our asteroids. And I'm going to have 20 of them. They're going to cover the entire screen. It's going to be lots of fun. So let's go to our program and let's see how we're going to work this out. I'm inside my test game project right now, and I need to create a for loop to loop through all 20 of these asteroids in our asteroid array. So as a reminder, you create a for loop by saying for. We need an initial variable and an initial amount, and we usually use integers for our for loops because that allows us to count by ones. So I'm going to say for int I equal to 0, semicolon to end that first statement. So for integer I equals 0, we want to say that so long as I is less than 20, so we're checking it. If I is less than 20, what do we want it to do? Oh, we want it to increment by 1, I plus plus. That's going to add 1 to I. So now what do we want it to do for every I, for every 1? Well, we want it to create a brand new asteroid inside of our asteroid array. So I'm going to say asteroid array I. So this is the ith asteroid. In other words, when I is 0, it's going to be asteroid 0. When I is 1, it's going to be asteroid array 1. When I is 2, asteroid array 2, so on and so forth. So this allows us to go through from 0 to 19, because remember we stop before we get to 20, and create 20 asteroids programmatically. Really cool. Saves a ton of lines of code and a ton of time coding it out. Plus, if you want to change any aspect of what you're doing with those 20 consistently, then you can do it all at once. Lots of fun. So asteroid array I is going to be equal to a new asteroid. So an asteroid, if you look right here, it gave us some help text. Sometimes it pops up, sometimes it doesn't, at least for me. And we want the asteroid's location, its blown up image location. Now if you remember, we didn't actually have a blown up image yet for our asteroid. We're going to work on that later when we get bullets first, because we need bullets flying out of, or laser beams or missiles or whatever, flying out of our ship to actually collide with the asteroids. So for right now, the blown up image location is the same thing as the asteroid image location. You can change that on your own for the fun of it, just to see if you can get ahead on the program. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Here, the float asteroid X is the X position of the asteroid. That's what we just got through talking about when we were drawing it up on the screen. I'm going to choose to do 0, 32, 64, 96, etc. Float asteroid Y, that's the Y position of the asteroid. Width, that's how wide it is, and height, that's how tall it is. Now, almost all of this code we can copy from when we created the asteroid before. So I'm going to come up here, bloop, 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 bloop. I'm just going to copy it. Love reusing code, especially when it works. Saves so much time. So I'm going to go over here, put that in. So asteroid image location, yes, that's good. Asteroid blown up location, yep, that's good. X, O. Well, the X can't be X. Huh. Where's the X going to be? Where's the X value going to be? Let's go back to our image, the drawing. Well, when I is 0, it needs to be 0. When I is 1, it needs to be 32. When I is 2, it needs to be 64. When I is 3, it needs to be 96. Looks like we're counting by 32s. How do you count by 32? Well, you do 32 times I. Now, my guess is, oh, it didn't give us an error message. Interesting. Because you notice we need to use float values right here, and I gave it 32i. 32 is an integer, I is an integer, so technically 32 times I is an integer. Well, it should work. Still bothers me. You could probably leave it like that. It just doesn't make me happy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new variable. I'm going to say, hey, a float variable, that's going to be the asteroid X value. It's going to be equal to 32, oops, times I, which I actually need to do right here. I'll just create float X, not actually do anything with it, and here I will say asteroid X equals 32 times I. That way I'm not initializing that value of X over and over again. That makes me a little bit happier, so that I can call this asteroid X. So asteroid X is going to be equal to asteroid X. Asteroid Y, yeah, we want them all to start off the screen at 480, at least right now. The width is going to be 32, the height's going to be 32. So great, we've created an array of asteroids counting from 0 to 20. So we don't need this code anymore. I'm going to go and just copy that, delete it. Oop, watch that go. And then we'll come down here where we're going to draw. So let's go through the steps of drawing and figure out how we're going to render or draw each one of those asteroids programmatically. Because remember, there's 20 of them, and we probably don't want to loop or programmatically, one line at a time, tell the program where to put each one of those asteroids. We probably would rather create a loop. So I want you to think about that as we're going through this. Okay, first thing we did was we moved the ship. Then we checked the collision between the ship and the only asteroid on the screen. Oh wait, but there's going to be 20 of them on the screen. Huh. So that means we need to check for a collision between the ship and all 20 asteroids. Wow. Okay. Then we moved the one asteroid. Now we're going to need to move all 20 asteroids. Then we came over here and we batch begin, so that means we're getting ready to draw. And we told it to draw the one ship, and then we told it to draw the one asteroid. Now we're going to need to tell it to draw all 20 asteroids. So we're going to need a for loop that's going to deal with checking for collisions, moving asteroids, and drawing asteroids. So let's go and take a look at how we're going to do that. So you can move your ship. That shouldn't be an issue at all, because that's totally outside of what we're doing. But you can't draw the ship, because that's part of your batch.begin. Okay. So let's go ahead and create a for loop. For, this should look very familiar now, and I equal to 0. So long as I is less than 20, we're going to go I plus plus. Plus plus, that is. And what are we going to do? Well, we're going to check for a collision. I'm going to go ahead and cut this code out right here, and I'm going to reuse it. So, there we go. My ship dot check collision. My ship dot get ship hitbox. So we're going to check for the collision between the ship's hitbox and the first asteroid's hitbox. Okay, so what's the first asteroid called? Well, it's called asteroid array, in this case I, because that's asteroid array 0. So we're going to check for a collision between the asteroid, or the ship, and the ith asteroid. All right, what else do we need to do inside this for loop that has to do with the asteroid? Well, we need to draw the asteroid. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. Let's cut this out. Come back up here. Now we're going to go batch.draw, And we need, instead of saying first asteroid, we need to say asteroid array 0. Oops, not 0, I. If we did 0, then it would always be the first asteroid. So asteroid array dot get ship image, or get asteroid image, asteroid array I get X, asteroid I dot get Y. Okay, so we're going to draw the asteroid. Oh, but wait, we can't draw the asteroid until we batch dot begin. No big deal. We can move batch dot begin above the for loop. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, then we also need to move the asteroid. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. And we need to tell it to move the first asteroid, or move each asteroid. So all we got to do here is asteroid array I dot move asteroid. And since we don't want to draw 20 ships over and over again, we need batch.draw outside of the for loop. So the for loop is just checking for the collision between the ship, the one ship, and all 20 asteroids. It's going to draw all 20 asteroids, and it's going to move all 20 asteroids. Then it's going to draw the ship. Then it's going to end. So probably could clean this up a little bit. This is the first attempt. We're going to move the ship. We're going to start getting ready to draw, check for collisions, draw each of the asteroids, move each of the asteroids, then draw the ship. Seems a little out of order. Probably could fix that, but let's just see if it works so far. Oh, I already have this for loop written before the video. Just another for loop at the end. You want to dispose of all of your 20 asteroid images. So keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully there's no mistakes in here, although I'm getting a nice little red, which doesn't make me happy. So I'm probably missing something along the way, usually a semicolon, maybe something else. We'll find out. So remember, you go to your desktop launcher. If this doesn't show up under the play symbol, we're going to click play. And what is it telling me? What did I mess up? Oh, semicolon at the end of that. Okay, let's save it. Let's try again. Whoop, there it is. All 20 asteroids. Oh no, can't escape, blow up. So there you go. There's this week's video showing you how you can create 20 asteroids. Your challenge for this week is getting ready for next week. I want you to think about, now that you've created all 20 asteroids on the screen, how are you going to randomly assign each one of the asteroids a different speed of movement down the screen? So that, you know, them all falling at the same time, you just can't avoid it at all. That's no fun. And also, I want you to think about these bullets we're going to be creating. We're going to like a bullet or weapon class or something like that that represents what's flying outside of the ship when you press the spacebar button. I want you to start thinking about what you would do with that that's similar to what's already been done with the asteroid. Like, how are you going to create bullets and how are you going to make them fly out of the ship? So for next video, what we're going to do is we are going to create random behavior for each one of the asteroids. They're each going to fall at a different speed, and they're not all going to appear on the screen at the exact same time. Again, I want you to try to figure out how to do that on your own, because that's the whole fun in programming, getting to problem solve. And I want you to try to use some random variables even. See if you can assign some random speeds to each one. Give that a go. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And again, that's the challenge for this one. See if you can create different speeds for all 20 asteroids so that they are avoidable by the ship. Kind of make it more of a dodging game at this point. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you next time.